Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us to today's session on waste innovations for circular economy transitions, lessons from Mexico. This is an online session and is being recorded for future viewing. And before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of Australia and recognize their continued connection to land, water, and culture. They are the original circular economists in Australia. The University of Sydney is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and we pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and future, and emerging. We further acknowledge the traditional owners of the country in which you are and pay respects to their elders, past, present, and future. I'm currently on the land of the Wadi people of the Eora Nation, so I also pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So today's session, there has been a slight change of presenters. Estefania, unfortunately, would not be joining us, but in her place is Victoria Hernandez-Sistos. Victoria, if you just close my screen. Yeah, Victoria is a policy planning coordinator at the Ministry of the Environment of Mexico City since June 2022. From 2018 to 2022, she was a technical secretary in the General Director of Policy Coordination and Environmental Culture at SEDEMA, following up and facilitating the linkage between areas for fulfillment of priority projects of the Ministry of the Environment. She coordinates the work to promote the Circular Economy Regulation Law and Law Initiative for Mexico City, which seek to advance towards the establishment of a legal framework that provides legal certainty and guidelines for the transitions toward a circular, sustainable, inclusive, and innovative city. She also coordinates the integration of the solid waste inventory, which is updated every year since 2006 and is hosted on the SEDEMA's official website. She's currently responsible for the implementation of the rainwater harvesting program, which today has installed more than 45,000 rainwater harvesting systems in marginalized water and water scarce neighborhoods in Mexico City, directly benefiting the same number of families. She holds a master's degree in administration and public policy from the Center for Economic Research in Teaching, CIDE. She will be our first panelist. The second panelist is correct in the picture there, is Mariana Achirica Acosta. She's a biologist graduated from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, or UNAM, with a master's degree in the area of science policy interface from the National Institute of Agronomy in Paris, France, and the Autonomous University of Baja California in Ensenada, Mexico. In 2016, she founded Gestica, Gestión Científica, a Mexican consultancy dedicated to solving industry problems by connecting needs with Latin solvers in areas of sustainability and circular economy. Together with Gestica, she has received awards from MIT, from Al Biotech, a recognized biotech community in Latin America. In 2021, she was named one of the 10 top voices in Mexico by LinkedIn Mexico, and 2022 as one of the top 20 women leaders for change and sustainability by Greentology magazine. And she was nominated as one of the 101 leaders by the Global School for Social Leaders, the most important award in Central Europe in the areas of sustainability and social leadership in Latin America. She's a certified graduate by PM4 Agile, focused on sustainable development goals as recognized by the Inter-American Development Bank. She is currently the manager of external communications and sustainability at Mass Wrigley, North Latin America. And our third panelist today is Adriana Espina del Castillo, a biologist from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, and has a PhD from the Metropolitan Autonomous University of Mexico City with interdisciplinary studies in geology, physical chemistry, and microbiology. She has specialized in water quality, treatment, reuse, and sustainable management. She's worked in industry designing processes for the evaluation, validation, and certification of innovation products. And she has worked as technology liaison with research centers, government, and entrepreneurs. She was a member of the pioneering Science Policy Interface Program in Mexico City, where she has advised the master plans for integrated aquifer and drinking water management with the Water Systems Authority of Mexico City, SACMEX, as well as the rainwater harvesting program with the Ministry of the Environment of Mexico City, where she continues to collaborate to help with water autonomy in marginalized communities in the city. She's also done a postdoc on bio-induced CO2 capture at the Geosciences Center of UNAM, and she's a scientific mediator, a mentor of entrepreneurship and employability strategies for scientists, and currently serves as executive director of Gestica, where she connects STEM talent with industrial needs around the sustainability and circular economy. And with this, let me welcome Victoria, Adriana, and Mariana to this panel. And the way that this session is going to work is we're going to ask one question to all three of you, and I'll let you answer that in about 5 minutes each. And then at the end of these 3 questions that I will be asking, there will be time for questions from the audience as well. Or if there isn't, I'll probably ask some questions. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your time. And my first question, which is going to be, I'll direct it in the same order, first to Victoria, then to Adriana, and then to Mariana. What actions is your organization taking, or what programs is it deploying in view of pushing for a circular economy transition? And what learnings have come from these actions? So Victoria, if you would like to go first, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Gustavo. First, I'm going to start with the vision of Mexico City, about construction of a city that relies on the circular economy to reduce the consumption of natural resources, with a regenerative vision that focuses on people and promotes within its environmental policy the extension of the lifetime of products and the reduction of waste. And in turns that follows fair economic development for all people, supported by technological innovation, education, environmental culture, the creation of plans, programs, projects, infrastructure, and a regulatory framework that contributes to the transition to an inclusive, safe, resilient, sustainable, and right-based city with less environmental impact and facilitates compliance with international commitments and agendas. Now, in what sectors we are working? We are working on food agriculture, cities, energy, water resources, waste, gender equality, climate change, housing, mobility, and biodiversity. One of the projects that as a government we have is Itacate, that is Food Collection and Recovery Center. Its objective is to avoid food waste through the generation of recovery schemes in Mexico City. In these centers, food in good condition is received, which due to some impediment is not marketed and is destined for the network of sub-kitchens managed by the Secretariat for Inclusion and Social Welfare. Citizens who require it can also request it free of charge. Other project is about bio-digestion. That is a facility that converts residual vegetable oil into biofuel in a process that generates zero waste. The facility is already in operation, and the produced biodigestion is used for the operation of 12 units of line 2 of the Metrobus, and this has been carried out on 6 units of passenger transport network. About construction, there are 5 RCD recycle plants, which are strengthened by a regulatory framework that promotes the use of recycled material in public and private works, mainly in non-structural construction, like sidewalks or park remodeling. But the main lesson is that there must be very good combination between the government, the private sector, civil society, and academia, in order to ensure that the actions are successful, in addition to the fact that the strategies must be designed with an educational and regulatory component that supports them. Thank you, Gustavo.
Thank you very much, Victoria. I will now ask the same question to Mariana, if you would please.
Thank you, Gustavo. You said Adriana, but I'm going to start.
Sorry, apologies. I was looking at your face. And
I'm joking because Adriana knew that it was me first. So thank you for this invitation. First of all, I think that the 3 of us are really happy to be here and to share with you our situation in Mexico. Me as a entrepreneur and also now being part of a big company that it's taking part and it's looking at sustainability and circular economy as a good tool for making things happen. I want to share with you my insights inside this big company called Mars. I want to share with you only the things that you can see in the web. So in Mars, we are taking a program, and we are having a program. We have a program called Sustainable in a Generation Plan, right? You can see my screen. There are 3 circles. One is healthy planet. We really think that in the climate, I'm going to make this healthy planet. It's linked with the climate actions, right? It's linked with water, with energy, with the resources, the resources that we know that we can also use for our company. This website, it's for the global company, and after showing this, I will show you that the things that we are doing in Mexico. So the other inside sustainable in a generation, the second path or the second channel, it's driving people, the second key. Driving people, we really believe that people make companies, people make cities, people make academy. We are people. So we are really focusing giving the people a good job, the human rights that we have to be very aware of, making people to live in an ecosystem that they really can have a good health, etc. And the last one is the nourishing well-being. So in here, we are targeting to innovation, to R&D, also to marketing, to see how can our providers also can be part of the chain, etc. So after telling you that our driving plan, it's sustainable in a generation, we have these three pillars. In Mexico, we are specifically, can you see my screen? So this is in Spanish. I will try to translate it. So 5 things that, for example, we are doing in Mexico inside sustainability and circular economy are these ones. So the first is that we have energy. We have aeolic energy in our plants, in all our plants. So we know that a lot of enterprises do it, but it's not a small thing. I think if we can share what we are doing is one of these things. So it's in the south of the country. We have these plants that give us this alternative energy. The second thing that we are doing, second action that we are doing, the second plan is MITS. MITS, it's a foundation. We support and women support us with making, you know that Mexico, we have a very beautiful, a lot of handcrafts. We are a country that really thinks that, and we make a lot of beautiful images, and we make dolls and a lot of these kind of objects. So MITS, it's a foundation where women with our packaging make a lot of handcraft that can help us and can help them to have money, you know. So even we as Mars are thinking how we can buy them some gifts or some, for example, we are thinking how can we can do it for Christmas, and we can support them not only by giving them the packaging, so we can also buy them the handcraft. Also, we love dogs and we love cats, so we have programs where we adopt and we pull people to adopt dogs. So this is one of the actions that we do. This one, I want to also tell you and share with you that I have been in Mars for 1 month, so I am very new. I don't know a lot of details, but I can share with you that this program, For Amor al Cacao, in English would be For Love to Cocoa. It's a really beautiful program that this year it's 10 years now. And we support small groups of people. You can see now the pictures, and we think that we are really making a change. In fact, tomorrow at this time, we will be in Chiapas, where the program takes part. And what we do here is that we want to make the people who work with the cocoa, and to give them support, to give them better places and tools for working. So they are really good partners for us, and we are always looking for them also. So this is a very good program and beautiful program that we are taking for another 10 years, and it's very beautiful. And the last one, we do a lot of these kind of things that we go and see how can we do things for the environment. It depends on the programs, maybe on the temporally. So in March, from now on, we have, and now that I am opening in Latin America, in North Latin America, this area of sustainability. I am looking that there are a lot of programs like these ones that I'm showing to you, that it has a sustainable background. It has a circular economy background, and I know that we are going to link and to match the stories that we are doing with the brands. And later I will tell you a little bit more of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mariana. And I'll pass the same question over to Adriana now. And in case you've forgotten what the question is what are the actions that your organization is taking, or what problems is it deploying in view of pushing for a circular economy transition, and what learnings that have come from these actions? Your turn, Adriana.
Yes, thank you very much, Gustavo, and for the invitation also, and Mariana and Victoria for being here with us. And okay. So as you said, when you read the resume of Mariana, Gestica is a Mexican startup that builds bonds between scientists and industry needs. So during the last 6 years, we have dedicated ourselves to advise businesses of different sizes and sectors, industries or governments, in their actions to incorporate sustainability and circular economy strategies. All this through open innovation. Yes, all this. Sorry, I'm reading because I'm really nervous. So, yes, and we have worked with a big Mexican company of domestic appliances, also some manufacturers of solar panels and lithium-ion batteries, and also with a big industry in Peru that it's a textile industry, and also with some other startups, yes, some startups that work with biopolymers. First, we make problem discovery with the user of the customer, and then we help in the project management to generate metrics and indicators, diagnoses, maybe roadmaps for specific actions of production based upon circular economy. With these experiences that we have in Gestica, we have detected that talking about sustainability and innovation can be uncomfortable for companies, especially for large and well-established ones. Nevertheless, we have found people, mainly in the research and development areas within the companies, or in the communication or public affairs, who are already aware of the benefits and risks of adopting sustainability actions. So they are looking for advice to communicate and permit the message to the upper management and prepare the next steps to adapt to rapidly changing environment. So helping with these transitions, we have learned some lessons to make this process easier. And we have developed already 4 mainly steps to involve and align the companies. Okay, this is not rocket science, and you will see, but the first step is that we start having a talk of awareness of the topic, like a group therapy, in which stakeholders are involved and where we share that it's not necessary to feel guilty if we are ready to take away the necessary actions. But why I'm speaking about guilty, feel guilty? Because it is increasingly common to find those who evade this issue, since it is uncomfortable for someone outside to tell them that they can do more for the planet than their priority is productivity. So we build this safe space to share how this issue makes us feel, and also we sow key questions to the participants. The second step that we have learned that frequently the person or the area from we could begin to work is the most aware in the importance of sustainability actions. Maybe this person is aware of the risk involved in not designing with the basis for the circular economy from now on. That's why I talk about the research and development or the innovation area of the company. We detect that this key person could be in an operational area, or maybe in the maintenance area, or frequently in the research and development areas or corporate communication. And we define with them a pilot, starting from where it could be more reachable to get tangible and visual results in a short term. Here is where we make the match. That is our mainly product in Gestica, in which we can find STEM talent, science, technology, engineers, or math talent that is incubated in academies or scientific startups, which may have scientific and technological developments that partially or totally solve challenges of products, tests, services, training, data analysis, depending on the company area or needs. This is our innovation step, our open innovation step. And the third step is when we carry on the project or the pilot, and once we have the quantified results, we design communication strategies to establish specific call to actions for each stakeholder of this company in particular. It could be finance, commercial areas, the CEOs, TI, to involve them in this new business model philosophy with small but clear and forceful actions for each one. Finally, the business model can scale in middle term by establishing indicators and metrics to have traceability. The target, this is important, the target is to make this a well-established path for making informed decisions in long term. This process can be iterative, it's like a circular, since improvement could be achieved in constant steps. But here is a but. There is a big challenge that is the investment, but I think is the next question.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'll reverse the order of the answer so you can continue answering the second question, which is what are the challenges and barriers that you see in implementing these for these actions or further actions? And what are the pain points that your organization has noticed, either in industry or in government?
I continue or?
Yeah. You go ahead, Adriana. Yes, I'll reverse the order. So I'll go Adriana first and then Mariana and then Victoria last and then, yeah.
Okay, fine. Well, first, I want to talk about the barriers inside the companies that we are finding inside the companies. In all this adventure that I have shared with you, we have discovered that talking about innovation or for sustainability and the need of changing the business model from linear to circular are topics very uncomfortable, mainly for the stakeholders, because both things, innovation and sustainability, and also circular economy, imply get out of the comfort zone for the business and the production process upon the company is based on. We all know that make innovation and change the business model has an economical and technical burden. It's a huge risk in the middle of a global uncertainty crisis, and we have this guilty feeling that I speak earlier. So companies procrastinated because it could be a thorny issue. So this is the first challenge. They don't want to speak about this. The second pain point of, at least of Mexican companies, is the low investment to make the required changes, because it represents a business risk. And the third pain point, or another problem, is the need of align the different stakeholders and the decision makers inside the company in changing the business model. This is maybe the biggest challenge for a consultancy as ours, and not the scientific or technological solutions, but the communication between different kind of personalities with different interests inside the same team, and make that aligning is very difficult. Some facts that we are seeing in the reality, this global reality, is that these processes are expensive, and it takes a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. But if company don't invest, everything could disappear. And our question that we saw is, what is more profitable? Not invest now, or that our company goes down. It is the second fact is it's an invest in which you see long-term return. So don't expect the ROI in 2 years. So this is very difficult for some businesses that they don't see this return of investment. The third fact is that culturally it's easier when the company is smaller than when it is large and consolidated. So it is an opportunity for providers and the chain supply for big companies. So this could be an opportunity. The fourth fact, is the market right now in this reality, global reality. The market is the one who makes the purchase decision, and we already are in the 60-65% of the global population is made of millennial. Generation Z and Generation Alpha is coming, and this youth is already aware of the change that they are looking in companies. And whether we like it or not, this young population is the one who will make the decision, the final decision, and it is the one that will make the industry change. So this is a huge reality that we share with the companies. And also, it's better to companies to be ready to have that awkward conversation. And in Gestica, we believe that recognizing these pain points help us to be more empathetic with our communication strategy with the companies. And I want to mention an external challenge that personally I see that is not from the companies. That is the lack of clear regulatory framework in Mexico. At least in Mexico, there is no regulatory framework, neither general nor particular. There is no census, and locally everyone regulates that they can. Everyone regulates what they can as best they understand about the subject, but they don't. It's not and comprehensive regulation. For organizations, these represent a huge risk to make important structural business changes by assumptions of where the law is going on to. Change requires human resources, money, material resources, time is money. But in the midst of a global recession, this change is super risky. So in Mexico, the circular economy law that is in project and being reviewed just covered the waste treatment. But we know that circular economy is more than just waste treatment, recycling and upcycling. So it is very difficult to us as a consulting group to communicate the importance of being involved in these transitions, even if there are no legal framework that support this idea. And with this, I finish my contribution with this.
Thank you very much. I find that very insightful because, like you're saying, it's not really the technologies that's the issue, it's the people and communication that's the main issue. And I'm wondering, yes, Mariana, if it's the same for you in MAS, if you could comment on this.
Yeah, thank you. It's easier than we think. No, the subjects are easier than we think. So I will talk about what it's also telling us, Adriana. For us, the challenges or the barriers, the pain points, comes, I would say that in three areas. The first is that we have in Mexico a poor waste disposal. Really in Mexico, there's no waste management. We are like thinking that we do it in our house and we do it in our own places, but then the bosses for the waste management come and they put it all together, and we become like, okay, it's not our fault. But that is linked with the second thing that I will tell you, that the second pain point, that it's that there's no standard regulation. It's what Adriana says. This is that we are there's no standard for all the country. Every state does what they think that they are doing. There are a couple of states in Mexico that has a circular economy statement, or talks about more of these kind of topics. They have maybe they're more they're not so behind from the other ones, but it's not a regular standard, you know, so it's very difficult to know what to do, no? And maybe if in our country we are in one country, but we our product comes from another, it's that, okay, which law do I have to follow? The one that it's in my country where it's my office, or the one that comes from that gives me, or that brings me the product, or the one that I am delivering my product? So it's very difficult because the waste management linked with the poor and there's no standard regulation are things that in Mars and in the other enterprises it's very difficult to handle, because you don't know what to do, right? And you do your best, but it's not really linked with the law. And in the end, it can be harmful for you, because if you want to separate or to dispose the waste in some way, and it's not in the law, and the law doesn't say, you can be doing a crime, right? So it's like, okay. But we're in transition. We know that we're in transition in Mexico. This year, a study came, and it says that in Mexico it would take 11 years to be from a linear economy to a circular economy. So I think that yes, we are like very far from other countries, but we are talking about the subject. We are like having this kind of conversations. We are knowing which are like the paths that we shouldn't go, and which are the ones that we should go. So I think that it maybe it's the step 0 or the step 1. And the third one in Mars, a big challenge is that we have our packaging. We have two kinds of packaging, three kinds of packaging. The first one is rigid plastic. That is the one. Oh, I didn't bring the candies. They're downstairs. But it's the ones I will tell you in after Victoria. So we have rigid packaging. That it's the plastic. It's rigid. We have flexible packaging, right? Like the ones of M&Ms, sneakers, etc. Milky Way, and we have metal packaging. So we have these three kinds of different packaging. So it's difficult for us if there's no waste disposal, if there's no a clear law, what to do it. So we are, it's a big challenge, but we are in R&D, we are really working in what do we have to do for next years and to make recyclable or to make compostable or to continue innovating in the packaging, because the packaging is one of our areas that we, inside the company, we can do something. Even outside, it can be a mess. So that's the challenges that we have.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariana. And lastly, I will ask the same question to Victoria. What are the challenges that you see, I guess, from the government side? And as I understand, you're not the side of the government that makes the law, but you're the one that has to enforce the law. You're the executive. So how does the current law environment in Mexico, is that a challenge for you as a environmental ministry? And what other challenges do you see population-wise, etc.?
Okay, if we talk about challenge in circular economy, I think that in general, ignorance of what is circular economy, it's a challenge, as well as the economic, environmental, and social benefits that this model has in the medium and long term, and a lack of inter and interinstitutional coordination to combine efforts. The vision that one has must be built and not confuse the circular economy with comprehensive waste management or just recycling. I think that some key points when we talk about barriers are lack of public policies that promote and encourage the circular economy in terms of what it represents and distinction between waste recycling strategies. Lack of mechanisms that promote industrial symbiosis, production chains, closure of production cycles, and reevaluation of resources for the reincorporation and value chains. Financial capacity of the region for investment and innovation and technology development, social, economic, and cultural contexts, difficulty in identifying priority or initial actions to transition to a circular economy. And so far, although it is being developed, there is no legal framework that dictates the course of the transition towards a circular economy or regulates the activities of the different sectors to achieve the circular economy. And finally, I will say the difficulty in coordinating efforts in an inter and interinstitutional manner. I think that will be the principal barriers. And some weak points, although work is being done actively in the creation of public policies that facilitate the transition toward a circular economy, this must still be modified and strengthened, taking into account the central principles of circularity and not focusing efforts only on recycle, energy recovery, or waste management. In addition, the financial capacity of public institutions to promote circular economy projects and studies, there are too limited too. So I think that will be the weak points.
That is a large list, but unfortunately,
Yes.
there is a lot of effort. I see there is a lot of initiative from public, from the private partnerships, etc., from everybody around the country. So the next question, and I'll start again with you,
Gustavo,
Victoria.
sorry.
Yes.
But I would like to present the different kind of packaging.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I'll
So
go ahead, Maria.
this is a rigid one. No, this is the rigid one. And I have to tell you that in Mars Wrigley in Latam, we are the only segment in the world that does chili candies. So it's only like a big project for Mexico specifically. So we have, it's a very important project for R&D and for us, because we are the only ones in the world, in Mars Latam, in Mars Wrigley specifically, that does this kind of candies and this kind of packaging. Specifically, the rigid ones are these ones, specifically of this candy. So the flexible are this kind of packaging. It doesn't say because it's sneakers. Okay. So it's the flexible one, and this one is the metal. It's a delicious chocolate. So we have 3 kinds of packaging. So we have 3 kinds of different strategy that we have to do. So it's something that I want you to show, because in the past I didn't know that it would be different strategies for different kind of packagings. So it's something that we have to also take in advantage. So thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. Now I'm getting hungry after seeing all those lollies. Yeah, so I was about to ask also Victoria about what opportunities. So we talked about the challenges, but what are the opportunities that you see? And in particular, in your case, I'm interested to hear about your thoughts or your experience in developing or promoting the circular economy regulations and law initiatives in Mexico City. What are the opportunities for those types of efforts to promote more the circular economy?
Okay. Well, there are many actions that are already being developed and implemented around the issue, and that help us to have more areas of opportunity and learning about what is working and what is not in other countries, since each country lives a different reality due to its characteristics. However, there are actions that can be replicated and adapt to the context of each country. I think that is why these spaces are very functional, to have an orientation and building the knowledge that one has regarding the subject. That although it is not a new topic, it is a topic in development, and that we are all contributing to building the ideal path. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. So I'll pass the word now again to Mariana. If you can share your thoughts about what opportunities you see. You're talking about the 3 different strategies. Is there any lack of technology that there could be some development of technology, for example, to deal with the 3 different types of packaging, or what other strategies? Like what are the opportunities? I don't know, international collaboration, etc.
Yes, of course. We are really linked with local government, with local academy. We have pilot programs to be sure that we are not missing something. Here in Mexico, specifically in Querétaro, the state where I live, and it's where the corporate affairs are. We have programs with the public academy here, and we are looking how the academy can help us to have more ideas. The thing is that also we are linked with other stakeholders. There's not only the government or not only the academy. There's a group that ONGs, for example, the external councils in other Mexican councils in other states or in other parts of the world, sorry. So also the industry, other industries were inside, because we are all lacking from the same. There's not only Mars. There's not only Mars that has a flexible packaging, you know. So with academy, we are looking for technology. It's very important also to tell you that we have global answers, but and technology, but sometimes it's difficult to to make it happen here local, because we have another kind of infrastructure, but we are working for that in 2023. The ideal scenario, it would be the properly waste disposal, because, for example, if we dispose and if we make the packaging be well managed, we can have back that kind of packaging and make it through the chain again. So we are knowing also groups of people that are recycling, no, that have another kinds of plastic that can be also used, and that's also technology. There are enterprises that have other resins that we can use for our projects, but now we are looking what can we make advantage of, and sure, the local government and the academy are one of our best stakeholders.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marina. So I read that as that one of the opportunities that there is a lot of interest, a lot of motivation from the general population, even from government and academics to push this. So, but one of the challenges is investment. So I guess could you say that there's an opportunity for foreign actors or other stakeholders to try to invest and make a big difference in Mexico and obviously to the world into circular economy? Is that sort of the thought?
Yeah, and also there are global enterprises in Mexico that can also invest, and the government. It's, for example, I know, and Adri can tell you more about this, that there are, for example, the BID, no, the Bank of Development, International Bank of Development, it's also making match with countries like Mexico, and they are supporting them. Or, for example, in Mars, we are next to other governments like the US government or Norway government, or making this kind of investments, not only by our own. So it's very cool, because we also have global resources that we can ask inside Mars and make this happen. But I think that we are understanding how the investment it's also going or coming through.
Yeah, thank you. Very, very interesting. Now I'll pass on the last question to Adriana, and it's the same. What are the opportunities that you see as an organization coming towards the circular economy efforts? And I said, for example, in terms of technology development, and I think you've already touched a little bit on that topic, and also international collaboration, but I guess one of the main things is in education, which is, I think, one of the topics that you're very interested in. So I want to see your perspective of what the opportunities are.
Okay, yes, of course. In Mexico, and I think it could be in other countries like yours, people perceive sustainability actions and circular economy transitions as a climate model, as an environmental model that needs ecological actions. It's like the same thing that Victoria has telling us before, but we are part to see this as a new business model that can help or guarantee the permanence of the company in time. That we making in Gestica is this thing that I talked before, to connect business with scientific and technological talent. Sometimes local talent or maybe international talent, because there are many developments that are inside the academies that could be used to improve the process of the business of companies. So also we can be this kind of research or technological developments inside the academy can be the solution for some technological challenges inside the research and development of new products of services inside the companies. I'm not fighting against basic science, because it is very, very, very important, because it's the basis of the applied science. and is being able to apply it to solutions that today have become global needs. But our experience advising companies has been based on finding scientific and technological solutions to avoid waste, some kind of this need that are avoid to produce the waste, either by finding new formulations for compostable polymers or by incorporating the recycled raw material into the chain, the value chain. And there is a lot of potential in Mexico of this kind of solutions, technological and scientific solutions to make this. But also there is already more awareness for the application of technological developments in the separation and the composition of plastic or metallic materials, like this packaging of Mars, for recycling, as well as the use of nature-based solutions, such wetlands, for wastewater treatment. And the challenge continues to, and also with all of this, the challenge continues to be the lack of regulatory framework and investment in long-term solutions, because you can make a big solution, a big technological or scientific solution, but we need that this is okay in the regulatory framework. We have found some barriers to going on to some like, for example, like the use of wetlands to clean the wastewater, but our regulation right now prohibit this kind of use. So we need to review this regulation to apply these scientific and technological solutions. That's why I said earlier that it's not the challenge is not scientific or technological, but it's with people. it's in make this human wellness coordination. So the opportunity lies in generate this culture within the academies in order to involve researchers, one with their surrounding community, and align their research lines with industrial needs. What do the companies need? To be easy, fast, cheap, timely, and if possible, natural solutions. That the companies need. Can the academy help with this? This is the first one. And second, maybe to get this academy to get involved and participate in dialogues and local work groups to speed up the establishment of the regulatory frameworks and make decisions based on scientific evidence. So I see that opportunities of the academy to bring this knowledge to the society and to the private sector and the development of each country. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adriana. That's very insightful as well, and very promising, very encouraging for us academics that there's a lot of work to be done, that not all science has been discovered, and there's a lot of solutions, technological solutions that can still make a big difference and impact in the world, right? So, sorry, can you hear me? Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah, so so now we've come to the end of this panel session, questions. So now I would like to open up for the audience to ask any questions. There's been a few that have been coming through. A few of them have been already answered, but I'm going to repeat them also for the recording. So the first one was from Jess Cully. She's he or she, I'm sorry if I don't know your gender, but anyways, thank you for the great session. Can you please tell us more about the kitchens that Victoria mentioned, and who runs them, and how they are funded by, whether they are funded by local government or other resources? Victoria kindly already answered that question on the chat. She said that the kitchens are carried out and funded by local government, and that the local merchants also play a key role. I don't know if you wanted to expand a little bit of that, Victoria, or is...
Yes, I think that it's a very nice program, I think, but because it's a program with a lot of coordination between local government and the local merchants. So it's a very pretty program, I think.
Yeah,
And
okay,
I will say that it has to be replicated in
yeah,
other
it's one of the
cities.
success stories, I see.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then there was another question also from Jess, and I see your camera on. So thank you very much for the questions. Are there any requirements or interactions between land use planning regulations that you have to consider in trying to deliver the circular economy? And I also read that your answer was more than half the territory in Mexico City is conservation land. So there's something that we have to take into account when promoting a circular economy model. I'm assuming that's very important when in the planning of the growth of the city or the rezoning, etc. Again, if you have any other thoughts.
No, just that a big percentage of population lives in the conservation land. So we have to include all people to have a successful circular economy model.
Yeah, thank you. There is also a question about people that arrived late. We will be sending out the recording details, so where you can watch the whole session from the beginning if you arrived a little bit late. There's just another question also from Jess that she noticed that there is a Mexico-Dutch collaboration on reducing food waste also underway, focusing on the main food market, biogas, etc. Outcomes are being pursued. Can you please tell us more about this if you are across it? So the Mexican-Netherlands collaboration on reducing food waste. And I will open that to if anybody else in the panel knows anything about this collaboration.
Mariana, I don't know if it could be like the Querétaro Circular Initiative about make compost.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, there is a website there.
Thank
on
you,
the chat.
Jess.
If you wanna open it up. In the meantime, I guess I have another question because I keep hearing this train of thought about collaboration between different stakeholders. So how as academic, how can we promote that? And also a lot of times as academics, what's stopping us from doing more research is funding. So what are the funding avenues that you see for these collaborations? Or what are the frameworks that you think can work to promote circular economy and that collaboration and linkage between industry, government, and academia?
As we told before, I think that going through government programs, sometimes with the councils that are pushing this kind of programs, ONU it's giving a lot of support. No, everything linked to the objectives of ONU. It's really take advantage of that kind of things, no? Because also in the industry, it's also making that more popular. So if you have a program or as the academy, I think that we should, or you should know that your programs and your research has to make the company be a better company. It's not science for science. I think that Adriana can help me with this, but we have to know that the company and the industry works as a different rhythm, talks as a different way, thinks in a different path than academy. So we should be like more behind or next to the industry that can gives us the funds or the opportunity to make things happen. And what we in Mars see is the kind of science or the kind of studies that can help us to be a better place to work and to be a better place to have research like done. So in the academy, sometimes we do things for the study and the pleasant that it feels, but in the industry we can't do that. In some purpose, yes, but we have a lot of problems, and we need people and hands and brains to help us to make the problems go with answers. I don't know, Adri.
Yes, I want to thank this question of Maribel Hernandez. Thank you very much. It's I have a nice feeling with this person, this extraordinary person in Guam. I want to say that for me, the answer for this question is the education. Is in the education.
Sorry, can you, if you don't mind, I'll read the question because just for the recording, I think it's probably better. So the question is, yes, how can universities, other than research collaboration with communities and industry, how can universities in Mexico help? Somehow, how can there be a link? How can universities be a link between millennials who are ex-students and graduates and new generations?
Yes, and the thought that I have is that the first step is to educate ourselves, like from the main academic institution. We need to be prepared and also be, how do you say, actualized? Actualizado?
Yeah, be up to date.
Yes, you need to be up to date. Thank you. In these topics to educate ourselves, like an academic base, the professors, the teachers, but also to teach these new generations, like millennials, these students, because you as teachers are that people that are next to them, and you know them better to know how they can be the future of the society. So I think the academy have a huge responsibility in this education, in this be up to date in these subjects, and also to make this, to bring to the students the tools, the communication tools, to have this possibility to get out of the academy, this scientific knowledge, to get out of the academy, to apply it in regulations, in laws, in the government, how did I say it? In decision making in business, in industry, and in government. So we need to empower these students, since they are in the academy. So I think this is a huge responsibility of these educative centers and universities.
Yeah, very good thoughts there, very good points. And the other thought that I was having too is to be a role model for the rest of the population. So not just teach it, but actually do it. And I don't know if you saw, but I'm going to plug it in here. University of Sydney was ranked first in Australia for sustainability and 5th or 4th in the world. Tied with UNSW. And there's a session at 5 p.m. Australia time, which might be a little bit too late for you, about how to be a responsible university. I really recommend you join that one. And it's about how we deal with waste within the university. So as I say, to be a role model. And then in that way, the students that are coming through the university, the people that come and visit, they see that it is possible to be a circular economy university. I see there's just no more questions there. So I guess just to wrap it up, and if you have any final thoughts, I was having just one thought just before about the need of there's a lot of motivation there. There's a lot of push. There's people are being positive that the topics are being talked about in Mexico. There's a few positive outcomes that are having come from successful programs, I see. So if you just in 1 minute just have a short brief description of something that you're happy about that's going on in circular economy in Mexico, and then we can wrap it up from there. I'll start with you, Adriana, because you're on my screen at this moment.
I don't know. Let me think.
And anything that makes you feel positive and say this is a good outcome, and I'm positive, I'm optimistic about the future of circular economy.
Yes, I think that we are already talking about circular economy. We are, I think that this is the most positive thing, that we are ready to talk about it and to this uncomfortable topic, and we are ready to have this conversation. I think this is a huge step.
I will ask the same question to Victoria, just to wrap up. Any positive, like something that makes you feel optimistic about circular economy in your organization and in the country as a whole?
Okay, something I feel optimistic is that right now, I think we are doing good work in coordinating all the sectors, because right now we are working in a circular economy law. So it's a lot of work on coordinating. And right now we have a good response of all the sectors. So I think it's a big step right now.
Yeah, that's definitely encouraging when you see that people are willing to take it on and willing to push with these changes, because I'm guessing that they see that there is value and there's good outcomes at the other side. And finally, Mariana, if you could just share your thoughts as well.
Yeah, thank you. I go to a lot of meetings, and the recent that I can share with you, I went to the International Chamber of Commerce for a meeting, and the fact that they are talking about that the circular economy, it's a circular model economy, and it's not a sustainable or environmental model. It's very cool, no? To listen someone else than Adri, Victoria and me, besides us, that it's telling that it's a matter of economy and it's not only environmental. It's very satisfactory. And I will tell you another that it's more, I think, that personal. For example, in now Mars that asked me to be in the company, and because they were very interested in having a person of sustainability in Latin America. So now you can see that the big enterprises, even they are not Mexicans, can see that in Latin America there's a big need to have this kind of roles. So it's very pleasant, and also because I am linked with the government and with enterprises and other enterprises and with the entrepreneurs and these small groups as Gestica. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to thank once again to Victoria, Adriana, and Mariana for their very insightful presentations, talks, and answering all our interesting questions. And I would like to thank everybody in attendance today for sharing your time with us. And I hope this was as valuable for you as it was for me. And also invite you to the rest of the sessions that are in this last day of the Australian Circular Economy Conference. I hope you can attend some of the other sessions. So thank you very much. And thank you for your presence.